Today we're going to talk about division with remainders. We have one vocabulary word. A remainder is the leftover amount in a division problem. So when the subtracted dividend is less than the divisor. Let's do an example. Let's do 16 divided by 5. We all know that 5 times 2 is 10, so we subtract that from our dividend and get 6. 5 can still go into 6, so we can say 5 times 1 is 5, subtract that from our 6 and get 1. Now that 1 is less than our divisor, 5, so we can't subtract anymore. So since 5 can't go into 1, 1 is the remainder. We add up our multiples, and we get 3, so our answer is 3 remainder 1. In the model, since our divisor is 5, we have 5 groups. That would mean 3 1s are in each group, because 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 is left over to equal 16. So 5 groups of 3 with 1 left over, 3 remainder 1. Let's do a practice. 22 divided by 4. I'm going to do modeling on one side and big 7 on the other. For modeling, our divisor is 4, so we have 4 different groups. Big 7, our divisor goes on the outside of our 7, and our 22, the dividend, goes on the inside. We can do our landmark numbers. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 10 is 40. Remember our landmarks are the multiples 2, 5, and 10. We're trying to get to the number 22 in our modeling. We can't do 40 because it's too big, so let's do 20. 4 times 5 is 20. We're going to subtract that from our dividend and get 2. That means that 5 1s are in each of our circles. Our divisor is 4. We have that 2 left over, and 2 is less than 4, so 2 is our remainder. We have 5 1s in each circle, so we have 5 per group. 2 is remainder, 5 remainder, 2. On the big 7 side, we can say 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract that from our dividend and get 2. 2 is less than our divisor of 4, so we can't subtract anymore. So it's 5 remainder of 2. Let's try a word problem now. Let's read it the first time. Say, Edwin is setting up tables and chairs for a party. There are 22 chairs. He must put the same number of chairs at each of these tables. Now, I've purposely covered up the question because I want you to think about what we have so far. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about setting up tables and chairs for a party. There are 22 chairs, and there are 5 tables. So our numbers are 22 and 5. 22 and 5. Now think about what question they could be asking. What are they trying to get you to solve? So uncover it. And it says, how many chairs can Edwin put at each table? So our division problem is that 22 chairs into those 5 tables. So into 5 groups, 22 divided by 5. I'm going to do it 2 different ways, big 7 and area model this time. We have 5 as our divisor on the outside of our big 7 and 22 as our dividend on the inside. On the area model side, we have 5 on the outside and 22 on the inside, just like our big 7. We can do our landmark numbers of 2, 5, and 10. So 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 times 10 is 50. We can't do 50 or 25 because it's too big for our dividend, so let's do 5 times 2 is 10. We're going to subtract that from our dividend and get 12. On our area model side, we're going to do the same thing. 5, our divisor, times 2 equals 10. Going to subtract it and get 12. Now we can do 5 times 2 again. Subtract it and get 2. On our area model side, we're going to make another box. I'm going to bring that 12 up and say our divisor 5 times 2 is 10, subtracted is 2. Now on both our Big 7 and our area model, we have 2 left over. That is less than our divisor of 5, so we cannot subtract anymore. So we're going to add up our multiples and get 4. So we have 4 chairs per table now. We have 4 per group. With 2 left over as our remainder, so we're going to bring that up near our 4, and it's 4 remainder 2. But that's not the question that we need to ask. The question we need to ask is how many chairs can Edwin put at each table? You can't have a remainder of 2 at each table, so we have to figure out what does that mean. Well, that means that there are 4 in each group. So that is 4 chairs at each table with 2 left over. So the answer to our question is that Edwin can put 4 chairs at each table. There are 2 left over for the just in case.